We talking about practice.
Go get you a hamburger.
Spot Steaks. Spot Steaks. Come on, get your hot takes at Spot Steaks. Yeah.
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Got 69 touchdowns, if you know what I mean.
What is up, Kansas City? This is Gat with Sprout State's weekly podcast, brought to you proudly by Recovery Hydration Therapy, your one-stop shop to no longer being hungover or just dehydrated in general. It's 816-877-6186. Call them, text them. Just make sure you book your appointment because nobody likes being dehydrated. Whether it's Tom Herman and his P charts or whether it's you in an epic night out and you just need some help. And I've done it. I've tried the extreme hangover cure and it works. And I am 100% on board with never, ever extremely being hungover again. So there you go. Anyways, welcome into this week's podcast. I am your host. In case you guys don't know me, because there's a lot of new people listening, following, tuning in to what we are doing over the last 48 hours. Because I don't know if you know this, but I'm a breaking news source now. So watch out, Dan Rather. I'm coming for you. There's a lot of things I have to say right now. The biggest thing is that I will get to my news of what I tweeted yesterday, which was about a certain someone that had just signed with the Chiefs being at a certain bar and restaurant in Kansas City while I was 3 Miller Lights deep. So anyways, we do have a pretty entertaining show today. There's a lot that's been going on, mostly with Sprout Steaks. I have been doing a ton of work behind the scenes. I have been putting together an incredible opportunity. And I hate when people say that because I'm like, you're about to sell me some Mary Kay or some like stupid Tupperware or try to get me to invest in your horrible startup idea. And so, yeah, I've been putting together an incredible alternative to the dumb shit that you see streaming from the debate culture side of media and just people yelling at each other. Oh, and, you know, an alternative to listening to the horrid options after 10 a.m. and even before 10 a.m. on 610 of sports radio. So that's what I have to talk to you guys about today. And I think it's incredible that Kansas City has been doing so much lately to the point where we're still like top places to live. We've got an incredible Chiefs team. You know, we've faced some adversity with Kareem Hunt being an idiot. And I kind of had a mental breakdown over it. Not like full blown because I was still on Twitter because, you know, that's when you know that your mental breakdown is not real. If you're still on Twitter following along with everything and arguing with people, you're not actually there yet. That ain't it, Chief. When you've had a full-blown mental breakdown, you are yelling at people on your Snapchat, which I did. I'm like, I just don't want to talk about Kareem Hunt. I really don't. I don't want to talk about what kind of stipulations there are around it because it's 100% Kareem Hunt's fault. He's an idiot. The Chiefs, whether y'all believe me or not, totally saw the video before that day. It's just a matter of thinking that it would be released or not. So, you know, I'm not going to bring it up. Literally everyone in this city and across the country has just completely drained that story of any relevancy because it's just been talked about so much. If you want to know my opinions, you can go on my timeline and look it up. I posted the video. Was that like the most brilliant idea when there's people that actual domestic violence victims that could, you know, see that and be bothered by it? You know, probably not the best, but I did apologize. So I'm sorry for that if that bothered anybody. But I did it because I thought, hey, why give your clicks to TMZ when I can take that for you? See? Capitalism, baby. So no, this week was really fun because I got to scroll through the internet for the most part of the week and pick and choose what I was going to pay attention to. The Raiders game was unnervingly close for me. I did not want to have it to be that close, but I don't know if you guys know this, but we have an incredible offensive scheme, and then we get to our defense, and it's like, okay, what are we doing, Bob? Like, hey, Bob, we got to get this shit together, all right? We've got to do something more than the same tired plays and the same attitude towards adjusting to another team. So, that being said, some good news that I was slightly geeking out over. There we go. Geeking out over. I mumble sometimes, and I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I will try to enunciate better. But then I come off sounding like that, and, well, Anyways, so I was watching some sports talk on the TV the other day. I didn't really have an option because ESPN was just right in front of me. And it's pretty amazing how people are recognizing, after the Cowboys beat the Saints and the Saints had a horrible game, the talk about putting Mahomes as MVP, NFL MVP, is growing and growing and growing. And I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon because the kid is just showing more and more ways that we are doing well as a team. They're showing more and more ways of how he makes average to, good receivers look phenomenal. I love the back and forth with Garrett Dieter and Mahomes. I think it's hilarious because when Gary went in, I was like, okay, but Mahomes completely overthrew him. And it's like they had this little chit chat about it where, he's like, yeah, it's not Tyreek. You need to let me know that you're checking in and it's not Tyreek because I'm going to throw like it's Tyreek speed. And Gary might be one of the faster receivers now that, we have Benjamin. So I'll get to that in a little bit. Just calm down. I have plenty to talk about before that. But no, I absolutely love how these people on ESPN are not like showing signs of ESPN-itis where they're like, oh, the Chiefs are terrible. I mean, they are showing signs of still thinking that Phillip Rivers is a legitimate threat to the Chiefs. I'm like, I'm sorry. Have you seen us in our record against the Chargers? We make them look like fools every freaking time. I'm pretty sure Chase Daniel came in at the end of a game, I think 2014, and beat the Chargers because I was there at Arrowhead freezing. But I was in a suite, so it's fine. But no, like the Chargers are not a threat to me. I've never seen them as a threat. I don't care how many incredible athletes they draft. Phillip Rivers is a crybaby bitch, and I'm tired of hearing about the frickin' Chargers. I think I've made that clear by now. But, just in case you were wondering, I still cannot stand Phillip Rivers as a person. His face makes me just want to kick it. I don't trust grown men that wear bolo ties. Like if your mom dressed you like that in the 80s, that's one thing. I've had people be like, but I was photographed wearing bolo ties, and do you trust me? I'm like, actually, no, but not because of that. Yeah, if your mom dressed you for school pictures in the 80s and like early 90s or something wearing bolo ties, whatever. But like if you're a grown man that chooses to wear them, you think you're funny. Well, guess what? You're not. So fuck you, Phillip Rivers. This is a very profanity-laden podcast this week, but it's because I'm fired up. And this is the best gat that you could possibly get. The like, okay, podcast time gat is not fun. This is fun. Trust me. You're going to have fun. But hearing the mainstream media gush over Mahomes is great. Also, when you get to hear the Ravens defensive coordinator say that Patrick Mahomes is Joe Montana. That's what I was like, okay, I'll take it. And he's like, Montana with the 49ers, not the Chiefs, Montana. Even better. Keep talking. Then you get Steve Young commenting on it I believe Sage Steele was talking to him, and he's like, she goes, I'm going to play you a clip that you probably haven't heard yet. It's the first time hearing it. And you're going to tell me your immediate thoughts and reactions on it. And Steve Young was like, okay, he hears it. And he's like, okay, I don't know if he is referring to the incredible relationship that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have and how it's similar. But I'll tell you that Patrick Mahomes, yeah, Joe Montana didn't have an arm like Mahomes. And I'm like, whoa, you're sitting here saying that Joe freaking Montana didn't have an arm as great as Patrick Mahomes. And I mean, I'm talking like this has become a complete and total we love Mahomes sideshow. Every time I turn on the news or, sports, and there's any sort of sports talk going on and the Chiefs come up, Mahomes. Yes, our defense is whack. But it's going to get better. Eric Berry's back. I don't know if you saw that. Not to be depressing or anything, but I did have cancer. I still do. It's just 80% clear now. Having clear scans is cool. And having, somebody to look up to is really cool too. And when Eric Berry announced that he had lymphoma, it was just kind of like, damn. So last year, I got to have a talk with him at one of his Nick and Jake's Stock the Shop events, which probably one of the best events I go to each year. I absolutely love it. It was his third annual one this year, and it's just fun because you get to bring toys, you get to have great food, great drinks at Nick and Jake's with great people, and they're all there for one reason, to help raise money for children in need for Christmas. And I know it's stereotypical to have like Christmas toy drive around charity, but like this one is just really cool because of all the things that Eric Berry could be doing with this time, he's choosing to, build up his foundation and bring on really great opportunities. There was a luncheon with Stephen St. John, my mentor, and James Berry, his father. And it's just like, you get this one-on-one experience, and you get to experience what these athletes go through. And so it's really cool. It was really cool. I suggest that you guys try to RSVP to the next one because Eric Berry does show up. He will be there at some point, and you can talk to him. So I got to talk to him because, we're talking about the Chiefs defense, and his dad flat out said, if Eric's not playing on the field on Sunday, I will be. So that's how confident he is that he's going to be taking snaps on Sunday. And I got to walk up to him. I'm like, I don't know. I was kind of nervous just because I don't really talk about this kind of stuff with complete strangers, but I'm like, Eric Berry isn't a stranger. We're bros. It's cool. I'm like, hey, last year at this time, a couple weeks after I met you, I was going to the doctor at least every other week, trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with me. Kept going. And I mean, I was in the doctor constantly. And they finally figured out that I had lymphoma. And follicular lymphoma, if you're wondering. And I got my first clear scan at the end of October. And it was just like, I don't know how to describe it. My good friend Brandon was there with me, and he was trying to take a video of us talking, but he has an Android, and well, we all know how I feel about Androids. And he didn't get to capture the video, and I'm like, that's fine. But what happened after that, like after sharing that moment, like, I don't know if Eric Berry gives hugs like this to everyone, and I'm sure he does because that's just who he is as a person. I got the biggest bear hug of all time. Like the biggest bear hug. And I'm like, I just wanted to tell you that you've been an inspiration around Kansas City. You've been doing really great stuff. I told him about our treatments. We talked about where he went. I didn't know if he went to KU Med or like where he was. I guess he was down in Atlanta doing his treatments. But it's just incredible to be able to share news like that with somebody. Like, it was one of the best moments in my life because Eric Berry has been just an incredible force on and off the field in Kansas City, and it was just really fun to be like, what up? Hey, yeah, I kind of beat lymphoma. My next scan, and hopefully it'll be clear, is December 17th. So we got 10 days. And he's like, you let me know. I'm like, okay. I'll totally be able to get a hold of you because you don't check Twitter. You're not on Instagram really. Maybe I'll tag you in something on Facebook. One of his members of his team will get it. Emily McNeil does an incredible job with his foundation and his everyday life. And it's just really cool to have been able to have that moment of like last year I was kind of like, all right, something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. And I kind of like got this weird dark photo of him and I, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. I don't want to bother him about it. Because, those guys get so many people coming after them constantly being like, all right, let's take photos. Let's do this. Let's talk about football. When are you going to be back? And I'm like, I didn't want to be that person. I just want to share a personal moment with him, which I did, obviously. And I got this picture of the two of us. I had been crying because, of course, I cry all the time. I think not being on any sort of chemo treatment and coming off of it and then being on steroids and then like just there's so much going through my body that I'm just like, at any given time I could have like 5 different emotions in 2 seconds. It's wonderful. And by wonderful, I mean it's horrible. So yeah. But we weren't talking about anything besides just two people. I'm like, hey, yeah, I have my own radio show. It's cool. I used to be on ESPN Kansas City, and it's been a ride. We'll put it that way. It's been a long and winding road to continue being on iHeartRadio, continue doing my show, continue doing this stuff, and like I don't make it every week, but getting to tell him that was just like it was mind blowing. So Brandon was there, and he was like, I am so sorry I didn't get a video of you guys hugging and like crying, and I'm like, no, we got this great picture of Eric cheesing, and I'm looking like an urchin. I'm like hunched over, like crying face. Women, if you are listening, you know what happens when you cry and then you try to take a photo. You just look like you're high. And I just wanted to clarify that I wasn't. I know that might be hard for some people to believe, but damn it, I wasn't. So Brandon was like, oh my gosh, I'm just like absolutely floored I didn't get that video. And I'm like, you know what? It was just cool for you to be there. So thank you, Brandon, for being there. I really appreciate it. And it was just really something that I'm going to remember for a long time. And hopefully I get to tell him every single event and every single year that I'm still clear, good to go. And I don't know. It's something that I can't really describe accurately how amazing of a moment it was. But anytime you get to meet guys like that and they're genuine, nice people, yes, 100% yes. I can't say that about everybody, but the majority of Chiefs players that I've met have just been incredible human beings, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of our team doing the right thing, giving back to the community. I know they have mandatory community service, but all of my issues are with like the Chiefs front office and like their stupid ass parking consultant. I've never had problems with individual current Chiefs players, and I don't count Larry Johnson in that because he was an idiot. And don't worry, I used last week in my platform to tear into Larry Johnson. And if you don't know why I think he's a complete farce, I'll post a link in the info and you guys can check it out. So yes, 100% yes. It was an incredible week. There's a lot of fun stuff happening between Eric Berry talking about sightings of certain people. It was Benjamin at the Peanut while I'm 3 Miller Lights deep. I'll tell that story after the break. And just having an overall great momentum going into Baltimore, having freaking Steve Young say that Mahomes has a better arm than Montana, and then you have other people saying, well, Lamar Jackson might not be ready for the defense that is going to be hitting him pretty strongly in Kansas City, and playing in Arrowhead is like unlike anything you've ever experienced. So that's what, like, all this positive energy coming in and being able to lead up to Sunday, where I have a kid's birthday party to go to at 2:30, and I told them, I'm like, I'm not going to be there until later. I will be there, but I'm not missing this freaking game. I can't go out to the games right now. One, I'm afraid of getting sick. Two, too many people that are sick. And 3, I take like 3 days to recover from going out to them right now. The only one I'm saving my energy for is December 30th Raiders game. You got to be there. So I'm going to be bundled up, like probably wearing 18 layers and like have a hazmat suit on, but damn it, I will be there. So anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after the break with some things going on around the world of sports, some things that I found interesting, and of course, the infamous peanut story. So we'll be right back after this.
Have you ever needed an easy button to recover from those nasty hangovers? Or maybe those migraine headaches that come all too often, keeping you in bed for days? We're that easy button. We are Recovery Hydration Therapy, and our mobile unit will come to you to administer IV fluids, medications, and vitamins for common ailments such as the stomach flu, hangovers, migraines, jet lag, and exhaustion. Check us out at recoveryhydrationtherapy.com. Your instant easy button to feeling your best. That's recoveryhydrationtherapy.com.
Give her exactly what she's been waiting for, a little time away from it all. The Blow Dry Room specializes in pampering her while you get some uninterrupted time doing what you want to do.
We have hairstylists, makeup artists, brow technicians, everything she wants and what you need to keep her occupied for at least a few quarters of the game, if not more.
Be the real MVP and send her to the Blow Dry Room KC. You won't regret it.
Mention this ad and get 20% off your service. Book an appointment today at theblowdryroom.com or call 816-266-4324.
Live faster, young bad girls do it well. Live faster, young bad girls do it well.
Welcome back in from the break. My name is Gat with SproutSteaks.com podcast. We are weekly most of the time when I'm feeling 100% up to it. Right now, it is just me hosting this show, but I have a feeling after January 1st, I'm not going to be alone anymore. Yay. It's less than a month away, guys. Less than a month away. So everyone is here for one reason and one reason only, and it's to hear the tale of Kelvin Benjamin walking to the peanut. Right? That's what you guys are listening for. Got it. Okay. So we'll get to that. Because I have like a very lofty message that comes with that story. Because I don't know, I'm kind of tired of the state of quote unquote journalism right now. Okay. I think it's almost comical how people report on people being places. They're like, breaking news, Kelvin Benjamin walked into the practice facility. Breaking news, Kelvin Benjamin spotted in a parking lot in Kansas City. Breaking news. And it's just like, I don't know. I know that that's their job. I know that that's what they're trying to like keep everybody on the inside information. So I saw like 18 different accounts. Kelvin Benjamin reported at the Chiefs facility. Reportedly. Allegedly. Not allegedly. Allegedly is when somebody commits a crime. Reportedly is what they use when they're reporting on dumb shit. I like my news to be like, hey, this happened. Not, hey, this might be happening. I don't know yet, but stay tuned. I'm the official news spotter for Kelvin Watch. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. And this is why I do not consider myself a journalist. I'm not confirmed on Twitter or verified, whatever. I'm an unconfirmed source, all right? As Arrowhead Pride so nicely pointed out, unconfirmed. That's where I think it's entertaining, because believing everything you see on social media is fantastic if you are completely stupid. There's a lot of times where I say things that are very smart alecky, and people are just like, is that real? I'm like, no. Like, do you think that I really legitimately thought that John Elway killed Tupac? Yes, I do legitimately think that. But really, though, I mean, my Sprots Takes site is Sprots Takes, sports spelled wrong, because the way that people report on things is just comical to me. I never want to be a journalist. I don't want to be considered a news source. Journalists have to have journalistic integrity. I don't. If you pay me, I'll say something, right? Like, the world revolves around money, and there's not a lot of money in blogging. We'll just put it that way. So I like to go my own route, and that's why I am single-handedly building what I consider to be a fun place to talk about sports, a platform for all things Kansas City, women, men. We'll get to a lot more of that. We're going to have a really big announcement coming up on January 1st. And there's going to be a lot of change coming up that I believe in, because there's a lot of dumb shit happening out in the world of trying to be first in the news. I like one of my favorite people in the world to follow on Twitter, Tom Martin, KCTV5. He mixes real life news and like confirmed stories on like my unconfirmed ass with comedy. And in order to cover sports this day and age, you can't just be a one-trick pony. You have to be able to entertain, to make what you do fun. Like when you're on your 4th day of swamp ass at training camp up in St. Joe, because that place is never breezy, we'll just put it that way, and you're like, okay guys, talking about practice again, you got to have some sort of fun with it. And lesser intelligent people don't see the humor in a lot of things, and it's not their fault. They don't understand it. So when you get to something as ridiculous as me tweeting, hey everyone, I'm 3 Miller Lights deep at the Peanut, and guess who just walked in the door? It's Kelvin Benjamin. Do you guys really understand? Somebody had tweeted at 12:44 that he was at the Chiefs practice facility. And that was the end of my straw. I was like, are you freaking kidding me again? Here we go. Hey guys, no news or anything, but I spotted somebody. And that's whatever. If you guys enjoy that, that's on you. I don't. I never will. I hate hypotheticals. I like having fun with sports. I like being entertained by them. And there's times where I get to the bottom of some really serious issues like domestic violence in sports. But today or yesterday wasn't that day. Yesterday, I was not trying to take shit that seriously. So I tweeted that I was at the Peanut, 3 Miller Lights deep, and boom, Kelvin Benjamin walks through the door. If you believe that and you actually like went around telling your friends, hey guys, oh my God, guess who was spotted at the Peanut? I guess I would apologize, but only because you're very gullible. And I am not a journalist. That's very clear with the way that I tweet, the things that I mean, do journalists tweet about their nipples when they get excited about football? Do they tweet about D Ford just got me pregnant? I mean, people, come on. So yeah, I was not at the Peanut. I should have been. I was actually in the Peanut parking lot, and I was like, do I want to go into the Peanut? And we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go for lunch. And if you've ever dealt with a woman trying to figure out where she wants to eat, it's not fun. So there's 2 women trying to figure out where we wanted to go to lunch. And the Peanut was a really good option. I'm like, I don't really know. Because then if I don't know. Are wings too much to eat today? And they kind of were. They were overwhelming. I went to Winstead's instead. I know. It's very depressing and disappointing to hear the real story. But my point of this is not to discourage you from taking me seriously, which, I mean, there's times where you should, times where you shouldn't. But the point is that the reporting and alleged sightings and everything else, all this stuff is entertaining. Sports are entertainment. And Kelvin, I would be more than happy to take you to the Peanut whenever you decide that you're ready to go. And I've talked to a couple people that work at the Peanut, and they're like, yeah, we saw that, you moron. And people were asking us all day long, was he here? Did Kelvin Benjamin walk into the Peanut? What did he order? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's funny. They thought it was funny. So that's all that matters. If we can just talk about the Peanut for a minute. I know that I've been a strong proponent of this. But, Sam Mellinger that writes for the Kansas City Star has been a very strong proponent of doing a 3 wings and half BLT combo for a long time. I mean, I just flat out order 3 wings and a BLT and just put them together because I'm like, well, I can always take the rest of the BLT home. Or if you have friends, which, I don't always have friends with me at the Peanut, you can just let them have half the BLT. It's really good. It's like one of the best combinations ever. I am on board with this combo being a thing. Talked to the managers. They said no. I mean, every time I ask them about anything, they're like, no gat, which is good. And you need that in life. I need to be checked a lot. Obviously, I'm reporting on fake sightings of Kelvin Benjamin at the Peanut. So come on. But I apologize to all those people's hearts that I broke about saying that he was there. I think that the last place he would want to be seen is a bar that serves incredible wings and other delicious food when he's getting so much shit about his weight. Can we just stop fat shaming him? He runs like a lumberjack. I know that. He runs like a lumberjack that's maybe worked a 12-hour shift and he's tired and he wants to go home and eat some pancakes and maple syrup. I don't know. But like, I'm not worried about speed. Sammy Watkins, not so much. There's reports for him being done for the season in 4 weeks. I don't know. It's whatever. I don't think he's going to be back. All right. So we needed somebody. I mean, Kelvin's basically like the size of a tight end. If Eric Fisher gets hurt, put him in O-line. Why not? I mean, there's so many things that, people have been saying about, oh yeah, he's gigantic. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, sure. But stop fat shaming him, man. He's trying to live his life. Some people, maybe quite like myself, gain some weight and they don't run as fast. Or, they discovered that, what was it? Somebody was like, he went from fried rice to fried chicken real fast. I mean, it's entertaining, whatever. As somebody that enjoys the peanut wings a lot, obviously shows on my waistline, and everything else. Yeah. You know what? Let him just live his life. You're only in the NFL for so long. And if he wants to be fueled by chicken wings and, everything else, let him do it. I think Kelvin would love the Peanut. I don't know if he wants to be seen there now, but hey, whatever. If my little tweet, my unconfirmed tweet reached him, even better. The last thing he tweeted on social media was how he was butthurt over being cut from a team that he gave everything to after he had to bury his mom, which is really kind of fucked up. So yeah, I don't blame him if he's not on social media and he just kind of walked away from it. I would delete my Twitter app too. I would never delete my Twitter app. I can't do it. I've tried and it's just like, what is the point of this? I know that I want to be on there anyways, but guys, just stay tuned for an incredible announcement coming from myself on January 1st. We're going to be announcing some really great changes around here and some exciting opportunities for you guys to buy makeup and Tupperware and candles and leggings that look like you hate your life. Lululemon, whatever those are. Anyways, January 1st, we're going to start giving you an option to do better with your listing, have more options and choices when it comes to your drive to work, your drive home, your workout time, whatever. Going to give you some more choices. So there you go. Yesterday I was on Twitter because, my mentions and stuff were like, oh my God, is he really there? But I saw that my buddy Kelly Stewart, Kelly in Vegas, you guys all know her. You probably all follow her because she's hot. She talks sports. I mean, it's kind of a thing. She's really good at what she does, and she does sports betting out in Vegas. So if you guys need a handicap, But anyway, so I was on Twitter, and I saw her tweet about, I guess there's an interview that happened with Allen Iverson, and he had to talk about his top 5 movies of all time. And she was like, I agree. Troy is a good... I'm like, wait a second. He said Troy as one of his top 5 movies. I love AI. He's in the intro to this show. He's like part of what we... the practice thing was probably... The practice remix song is probably one of my favorite songs ever. I have it on a CD somewhere because that's how much I love it. And AI has just been a legend when it comes to that practice interview, and I love it. I love how passionate he is about it, and I love how I just love him. So just let me love him. His top 5 movies, I have seen absolutely none of them. And this is alarming for me. And if you're here to movie shame me, like, fuck off, first of all. I don't watch a lot of movies. I really don't. If it's on, I'll watch it. But, like, even then, I'm watching sports. I'm watching things that are relevant in real time. I don't go to the movies. I just kind of, like, just don't do it. I prefer to just see things if I have time, when like off season. During baseball, that's off season. Kansas City Royals play so many games and they're not good at baseball right now, so it's kind of easy to get a lot done in the baseball season. I'm not knocking anyone that covers baseball. I know that's your life and that's your livelihood, but the most annoying thing in the world is when people like tweet right after the Super Bowl, "Oh good, it's baseball season now." Nah, bitch, fucking wait till April. Anyways, Iverson has an incredibly I guess strange top 5. I don't think they're in any particular order, but first one, Casino. I haven't seen it. It's a classic. I get it. I haven't seen it. Hoodlum. Haven't seen it. Devil in a Blue Dress. Once again, I know, get off my ass. Haven't seen it. Law Abiding Citizen. Don't think I've seen it. Feel like I would remember that one. And coming in, last but not least, Troy. All I know about Troy is that Brad Pitt was in it. I think. So, interesting top 5. Not my top 5, that's for sure. Although I do have a Brad Pitt movie in my top 5. I'm just like, Allen Iverson, okay. Those are your... And people are knocking him. And, you know, movie people are almost as bad. I don't know. I think they're the worst. They shame you when you haven't seen something instead of being like, oh, okay, you haven't seen it. Not like, oh my God, how have you not seen this life-changing movie? And I'm like, yo, calm down. It's okay. It's going to be okay. If I haven't seen something, I'm going to make it. Like, I haven't seen any of the Star Wars, so do I really have an opinion on movies? Probably not, in their eyes. I fall asleep every single time. It is so boring, and I'm not into sci-fi fantasy movies. Harry Potter is pretty cool, but they're not in my top 5 movies. Harry Potter isn't. I like the books. So my top 5, just because we're here, it's my show, I get to talk about whatever the hell I want. Top 5, in no particular order. Scarface. Scarface is an incredible movie. I can do without the chainsaw scene. I'd never watched it because it just would gross me the hell out. But every other part of that movie, I love. I love Al Pacino's character. I love Michelle Pfeiffer. I just love the intensity. It's kind of weird how obsessed he is with his sister. I've read into that a little bit. Whatever. Anyways, second movie, Legends of the Fall. There's my Brad Pitt movie. Tristan. The Heartbreaker. Legends of the Fall, great movie. Third in the top 5, in no particular order, Any Given Sunday. Maybe I have a thing for Al Pacino. I don't know. Any Given Sunday is one of my favorite football movies. It's real. It'll make you dizzy. You will be very dizzy and grossed out. A lot of it. If you're offended easily, that's not for you. Just throwing it out there. Fourth, total switch up from what I was talking about earlier. Devil Wears Prada. I don't know what it is. I love Meryl Streep. There's a lot better movies that she's been in. Like, I don't know, Oscar award-winning actress Meryl Streep. And Devil Wears Prada. Probably not like a top movie for a lot of people, but every single time it's on, I will watch it. Anne Hathaway, very pretty as well. The guy who plays Christian Thompson, I believe his name's Simon Baker, had a huge crush on him growing up. So like seeing that, I'm like, ooh, curly haired blonde guy. Turns out he's like 5'9", I think, and that just ruins it for me. Fifth movie that I absolutely love is Armageddon. I used to watch it with my dad, and Bruce Willis is incredibly rough around the edges in this movie. I mean, most Bruce Willis fans would be like, why didn't you put Die Hard in there? I'm like, listen, another favorite Bruce Willis movie of mine is The Jackal. But Armageddon just is one. The daughter's name is Grace. He calls her Gracie. It's emotional. It's the only time I ever see my dad cry is during Armageddon. And I just love the movie. So I want to know your top fives. You tell me your top fives, because Allen Iverson's, I've never seen any of them. Mine is all over the place. I could easily add more to it, but those are movies that if they're on, I will watch no matter what. Unless it's like a Chiefs game. Then I'm like, sorry, movies. I'm busy. So yeah, tweet me your top five. It's at Sprotsgat, SPROTSGAT, or you can look up GAT and then in parentheses, unconfirmed. That's my favorite part of it. Unconfirmed. We are going to have our Huggins Daily. This is going to be a new thing that I do. I know that I tweet about Bob Huggins all the time. But, you know, his time at K-State was fleeting. It made me sad. Speaking of time at K-State being fleeting, Ron Prince is now a head coach at Howard. Okay. Not sure why that they would let him have a head coaching job, but hey, more power to you. But back to Huggins Daily. Bob Huggins is taking on Pittsburgh at West Virginia on Saturday. So what do I think he's doing today? Right now, he's probably in practice. He's probably wearing a really, really badass tracksuit and yelling at someone, putting some bourbon in his coffee. And I think tonight he's going to relax, have a cigar maybe. Probably not, because he's health conscious these days. He's going to just relax, enjoy his calm before the storm. Maybe have a really good dinner with some boosters. I don't know, some alumni might be back in town. I feel like he's going to be... I hope he's not driving anywhere if he's, consuming bourbon. We know that Huggy has some issues drinking and driving. I mean, you just shouldn't do it in general. Call an Uber, Huggy. They have them in Morgantown. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Even when I went there, it was not that super popular, but there still was Uber and Lyft there. So woohoo for Huggy Bear. Huggy Daily. What is his mood like today? I feel like he's in a good mood. I feel like he's got some shows recorded or something that he wants to watch tonight, and he's going to do it. Or he might just be watching game tape because it's basketball season. And even though he's been around forever and knows everything about every team, he might just still be getting prepared. You never know. The man's a wild card, and I absolutely love it. So if you know what Bob Huggins was doing today and what he's going to be up to tonight, hit me up. Let me know. I gotta stay informed. I'm a journalist now. I have been cited on a journalist website. I'm a journalist now, therefore I have integrity. I will not be talking about anything inappropriate ever again. And I should probably stop cussing as well. But can't stop, won't stop. The FCC can suck my... Not going to say it. But I'm just really proud that we have a censor-free way of bringing you fun, entertaining stories about sports culture, what's going on around Kansas City. And it's just going to get bigger and better. So just wait. And hashtag stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe. We've got an Apple iOS app that you can download called Sprots Takes. We've got we're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes podcasts, Google Play, whatever platform you could possibly listen. We're also on SoundCloud. Listen to it. It's going to be awesome. We're really happy that you stopped in and listened. I'm sorry if I ruined your day by telling you that Kelvin was not at the Peanut and I was just simply in the parking lot trying to decide where I actually wanted to go to for lunch. The lesson is don't believe everything you hear on social media. Except I'll probably tweet something like, hey guys, I'm 4 Miller Lights deep at the Peanut and Donald Trump just walked in the door. Hopefully maybe you won't believe that. So either way, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Gat, G-A-T. Those are my initials. It's not like my parents hated me and named me after a Gatling gun or something. But yeah, be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for listening. We'll check back with you guys next week. And as always, stay tuned. There's always more to come.